Yeah, it's great to be here with everyone a little bit early. We jump on here at 12 o'clock every Monday and
Mm,
catch up and say hello and get to know one another. It's just a
mm,
nice community to share here. Today we're going to be starting in chapter 15, section 2, the end of doubt. And since it's
mm,
12:30, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. Chapter 15, section 2, the end of doubt. The at-one-ment is in time, but not for time. Being in you, it is eternal. What holds remembrance of God cannot be bound by time. No more are you. For unless God is bound, you cannot be. An instant offered to the Holy Spirit is offered to God on your behalf. And in that instant, you will awaken gently in Him. In the blessed instant, you will let go all your past learning, and the Holy Spirit will quickly offer you the whole lesson of peace. What can take time when all the obstacles to learning it have been removed? Truth is so far beyond time that all of it happens at once. For as it was created one, so its oneness depends not on time at all. Do not be concerned with time, and fear not the instant of holiness that will remove all fear. For the instant of peace is eternal, because it is without fear. It will come, being the lesson God gives you through the teacher he has appointed to translate time into eternity. Blessed is God's teacher, whose joy it is to teach God's holy Son his holiness. His joy is not contained in time. His teaching is for you, because his joy is yours. Through him, you stand before God's altar, where he gently translates hell into heaven. For it is only in heaven that God would have you be. How long can it take to be where God would have you? For you are where you have forever been and will forever be. All that you have forever. The blessed instant reaches out to encompass time, as God extends himself to encompass you. You who have spent days, hours, and even years enchaining your brothers to your ego in an attempt to support it and uphold its weakness, do not perceive the source of strength. In this holy instant, you will unchain all your brothers and refuse to support either their weakness or your own. You do not realize how much you have misused your brothers by seeing them as sources of ego support. As a result, they witness to the ego in your perception and seem to provide reasons for not letting it go. Yet they are far stronger and much more compelling witnesses for the Holy Spirit, and they support his strength. It is therefore your choice whether they support the ego or the Holy Spirit in you, and you will recognize which you have chosen by their actions, their reactions. A son of God who has been released through the Holy Spirit in a brother is always recognized. He cannot be denied. If you remain uncertain, it is only because you have not given complete release. And because of this, you have not given a single instant completely to the Holy Spirit. For when you have, you will be sure you have. You will be sure because the witness to him will speak so clearly of him that you will hear and understand. You will doubt until you hear one witness whom you have wholly released through the Holy Spirit, and then you will doubt no more. The holy instant has not yet happened to you, yet it will, and you will recognize it with perfect certainty. No gift of God is recognized in any other way. You can practice the mechanics of the holy instant and will learn much from doing so. Yet its shining and glittering brilliance, which will literally blind you to this world by its own vision, you cannot supply. And here it is, all in this instant, complete, accomplished, and given wholly. Start now to practice your little part in separating out the holy instant. You will receive very specific instructions as you go along to learn to separate out this single second and to experience it as timeless is to begin to experience yourself as not separate. Fear not that you will not be given help in this. God's teacher and his lesson will support your strength. It is only your weakness that will depart from you in this practice, for it is the practice of the power of God in you. Use it but for one instant, and you will never deny it again. Who can deny the presence of what the universe bows to in appreciation and gladness? Before the recognition of the universe that witnesses to it, your doubts must disappear. All right. We have to prepare ourselves for the holy instant. How do we think we do that? How do we prepare ourselves for the holy instant?
For some reason, I thought that the holy instant could happen at any moment. You know, when, for example, I meet somebody and I feel total love for them and from them. I thought that was a holy instant. So this surprised me a little bit when when we read that that we have not yet experienced the holy instant.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe we wouldn't be reading Course in Miracles anymore if we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why they know. We're still reading.
Uh, yeah.
Let's see if I've got it in my glossary. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so according to the glossary, the holy instant is the instant outside time in which we choose forgiveness instead of guilt, the miracle instead of a grievance, the Holy Spirit instead of the ego, the expression of our little willingness to live in the present, which opens into eternity, rather than holding on to the past and fearing the future, which keeps us in hell. Also used to denote the ultimate holy instant, the real world, the culmination of all the holy instants we have chosen along the way. Ah, there you go, Scott. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, you are correct. There are accumulation of all the holy instants.
Yeah. Well, I'm
But
glad for
this
that
does make
because
it,
yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt.
Um, because then I have something to reference to that I have, at least I believe I have experienced the holy instant. In a number of occasions, it doesn't stick. It's not a continual thing.
Right.
And maybe that's what I'm really working on.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I've done that too. I've experienced a number of them, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't stick, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They come, they go, they come, they go. And it's the
Mm-hmm.
practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the part of making our mind ready for them to stick
Mm-hmm.
and for then it to become eternity. Because I know in those moments, the feeling is incredible, right? That feeling
Mm-hmm.
of you really do feel that at one minute. You feel like, wow,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's something greater coming through that you're a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That was
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
great point to bring up because I read it like that too. I'm like, what does that mean? I haven't experienced the holy instant. I thought I have.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Anybody else want to comment on this? Anything coming
Yeah,
up for them?
we have glimpses of we have glimpses of them. Like, they do come, but they're short lived, I think.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah. Mhm.
Um, I I'm really interested in number 4, where it says you do not realize how much you have misused your brothers by seeing them as sources of ego support. As a result,
Hmm.
they witness to the ego in your perception and seem to provide reasons for not letting it go. So,
Yeah.
how would you um, explain that?
So whenever you're holding a grievance against a brother, right? If you're judging them as bad, like he's a bad person or she's a bad person, she's done this awful thing, and you're holding a grievance against them, you're witnessing to the ego in them
Right,
instead of seeing the Christ in them. And
right. That's what I
right.
thought that it said. And
Hmm.
so, again, it's a practice because every every day I could use Trump as a challenge to see the Christ in someone. I still
Mhm.
haven't figured out how to do that, but I'm working on it.
Yeah,
I,
there's actually a lesson that teaches you exactly how to do it, and I've done that with someone who was being very cruel to me personally in this experience, and I was able to see her differently, and in that moment our relationship changed. I'm not even kidding you. It was amazing.
Interesting.
how do you, how do you keep him in the circle? Right.
Right,
Bring
in the
him
circle,
back
right?
into the circle.
So we've been talking, Kathleen, because we read a few weeks back about the circle of atonement or at one mint, which I like to call it, right? And what the reading was saying is that if you have one person outside of the circle, like you can imagine all the people that would be inside the circle, right? Your chickens, your boyfriend, your family, people you love, right? But
Mhm.
then you can imagine all the people that would be outside the circle. People that have done you harm or did this terrible thing to other people or you've formed opinions
Mm.
about their bad behavior, right? It said if you hold anyone outside the circle, you are out there with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that is so interesting.
Right.
Mhm.
And one of the people who comes to the meetings usually, she's not here today, she said, I imagine a circle and I'm drawing a circle, she said, and I'm going to get all these little people and I'm going to put them all in the middle and I'm going to see who's not in the middle, who's not in my circle, and then I'm going to try one by one to bring them into the circle so
Mhm.
that I can be there. And I thought, well, that's so clever.
Right. So you're just seeing them as spirit.
You're seeing them as perfect
Yeah.
brothers in the creation of the one mind of God and not part of the separated dream that we're all dreaming.
So if someone does something to personally hurt you, um, you just see it as part of God's plan to help you learn your lessons.
No, I think that's what people call spiritual bypassing,
Mhm.
right? Where
Mhm.
you're not really going through the forgiveness. I mean, I can
Mhm.
share with you, and I think I have in the past, my personal
Mhm.
account of when I was in that very abusive relationship when I was a teenager, right?
Mhm.
And that traumatized me for a long, long time because there was physical abuse, there was verbal abuse, and I was reading A Course in Miracles and
Huh?
trying, actually, I don't think I was reading A Course of Miracles at the time. I was reading other spiritual books. I hadn't found Course in Miracles yet. And I don't even remember why this dream came to me or what happened, but I had a dream
Mhm.
during a regular nighttime dream of mine.
Mhm.
And I was in the woods and it was dark, and he was in the house and it was brightly lit. And I think I told you all
Mhm.
this. I went to the window and I was afraid because I saw a woman in there. I thought he was hurting her and I felt like I had to save her. So I went to the window and looked, and they were laughing and they were dancing, and I was so surprised. Like, what? Like, this is a lovely, they're having a lovely encounter. And then at that moment,
Mhm.
he appeared in front of me, like at the window, and it scared me because like I was afraid of him. And then all of a sudden the house disappeared and I was standing face to face with him. But he didn't seem angry. He didn't seem any of the things that he was when I was with him, right? And he
Mhm.
looked right at me and he said, "I'm so sorry for everything that I did to you."
Mhm.
And I said, "It's okay. I forgive you." And we embraced. Well, six
Mhm.
months later, I happened to be working at the athletic club, and
Mhm.
he was trying to get his life together, apparently. I didn't reach out to him. I didn't call him. I mean, I felt like the weight of the world lifted off of my shoulders after I had that dream. It was so
Mhm.
freeing because up until that point, I was having night terrors that he was stalking me, that he was trying to kill me, like all the
Mhm.
things. And they ended after I had that dream. And he came in, worked out, and the person that had asked him, because I still had an order of protection against him, the person said he really wants to talk to you. Is that okay? And because I had this forgiving dream, I was excited to see him, right? So he
Mhm.
came up and I said, let's go someplace private. So we went someplace private, and he looked at me and he said, "I just want to say I'm so sorry for everything I did to you."
Wow.
And I said, "It's
Mhm.
okay, I forgive you." And we embraced. And it was just like my dream. And
Mhm.
what I have learned from other people's encounters of this type of thing, sometimes they call that the fifth dimension, that the healing
Mhm.
happens in the fifth dimension before it happens here. So I don't really have a clear answer for you by like I don't think giving it like, well, there must be a reason for this, there must be a reason. I think we all try to ascribe like that had to happen for a reason, right? To make sense of things that happen. And looking back, I could say that, well, yeah, maybe that was a lesson for me in forgiveness, because if I could forgive that, how could I not forgive other things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
But that was my experience, my personal experience. But again, it was because I was doing the work, I was doing the practice, I was practicing being love. And I think maybe once you get into the practice, things like this just come to you and happen as you're practicing, right? As you're extending and as you're trying to um, get to that place of at one mint.
That moment of hugging him, um, that sounds like at that moment, whatever grievance was no longer there.
That was no longer there. For me, that grievance was no longer there when I woke up from the dream.
Mm.
So the physical reenactment of it happening within this dream
Mhm.
didn't have to happen because it I had already completely forgiven him, and I could completely be in that place of at one moment and see him as a child of the part of the one mind of God that we all share.
Mm. Mhm.
But
Yeah.
again, I think it just goes back to the practicing,
Yeah.
right?
So,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that can be considered the holy moment.
The holy instant,
Holy,
absolutely.
holy instant. Yes, that's what I
Right.
meant to say. Yeah.
Right. And so when I did wake up from
Yeah.
that dream, the first thing I
Yeah.
wanted to do was pick up the phone and call him. But then I was like, ooh, I probably shouldn't do that because that dream was for me.
Mhm.
And that healed in my mind, everything that had happened. But I
Mhm.
still didn't know. where he was within this dream in his mind.
Mhm.
If his dream was still playing out other scenarios.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Yeah, there's a
does that
question
answer your
there
question?
from what I'm reading. The the the, something that I'm reading says, "Why did I create this?"
Hmm.
The book that I'm reading has a few sentences, and one of them is, "Why did I create this particular, whatever this particular thing is that we do that creates all
Right,
this angst? Why
Mhm.
did I create this?"
right, right.
Asking yourself that.
Exactly. I mean, I made it that initial choice to be in that relationship.
Mhm.
And then there's a couple of more questions, and the other one is, what is the lesson here for me?
Mhm.
And and what are the opportunities of this gift?
Right, right, right.
And it is the holy instant.
Hmm.
At least that's what I that because I've been reading this book and I'm saying, what the heck are they trying to tell me here? What am I what
Right.
am I supposed to understand from all this? And this just kind of brought it out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There was another relationship I was in years
So
later
we
that,
created
yeah,
Mhm.
that was
I
similar.
was in
So
an,
so if we don't resolve it within us, we're bound to repeat it.
yes. And
Mhm.
that's what I was just going
Mhm.
to say. I was in another relationship that was very similar to this many years later, and I saw it and I was like, oh no, I don't need to learn this lesson again. I am done with this.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like a mirror of the parts of us that we're not loving, right?
Mhm.
Because once we are accept the grandeur of God within us, we would never allow someone to treat us that way. But when we are thinking of ourselves as less than, then yeah, we would accept that type of behavior.
Mhm.
All right. Any more comments about this? The end of doubt of anything about what we read or anything else?
Well, even the point about the end of doubt would be a leap of faith, it seems to me. So I know when I forgive, I'm going to be open to a miracle.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. I think too, it's important that we remember in paragraph 2, it says, do not be concerned with time and fear not the instant of holiness that will remove all fear. For the instant of peace is eternal because it is without fear.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right. Anyone else before we continue? Okay. Littleness versus magnitude. Okay. Chapter 15, section 3, littleness versus magnitude. Be not content with littleness, but be sure you understand what littleness is and why you could never be content with it. Littleness is the offering you give yourself. You offer this in place of magnitude, and you accept it. Everything in this world is little because it is a world made out of littleness, in the strange belief that littleness can content you. When you strive for anything in this world in the belief that it will bring you peace, you are belittling yourself and blinding yourself to glory. Littleness and glory are the choices open to your striving and your vigilance. You will always choose one at the expense of the other. Yet, what you do not realize each time you choose is that your choice is your evaluation of yourself. Choose littleness, and you will not have peace, for you will have judged yourself unworthy of it. And whatever you offer as a substitute is much too poor a gift to satisfy you. It is essential that you accept the fact, and accept it gladly, that there is no form of littleness that can ever content you. You are free to try as many as you wish, but all you will be doing is to delay your homecoming, for you will be content only in magnitude, which is your home. There is a deep responsibility you owe yourself, and one you must learn to remember all the time. The lesson may seem hard at first, but you will learn to love it when you realize that it is true and is but a tribute to your power. You who have sought and found littleness, remember this: every decision you make stems from what you think you are and represents the value that you put upon yourself. Believe the little can content you, and by limiting yourself, you will not be satisfied. For your function is not little, and it is only by finding your function and fulfilling it that you can escape from littleness. There is no doubt about what your function is, for the Holy Spirit knows what it is. There is no doubt about its magnitude, for it reaches you through Him from magnitude. You do not have to strive for it because you have it. All your striving must be directed against littleness, for it does require vigilance to protect your magnitude in this world. To hold your magnitude in perfect awareness in a world of littleness is a task the little cannot undertake. Yet it is asked of you in tribute to your magnitude and not your littleness. Nor is it asked of you alone. The power of God will support every effort you make on behalf of His dear Son. Search for the little, and you deny yourself His power. God is not willing that His Son be content with less than everything, for He is not content without His Son, and His Son cannot be content with less than His Father has given Him. I asked you earlier, would you be hostage to the ego or host to God? Let this question be asked you by the Holy Spirit every time you make a decision. For every decision you make does answer this and invites sorrow or joy accordingly. When God gave Himself to you in your creation, He established you as host to Him forever. He has not left you, and you have not left Him. All your attempts to deny His magnitude and make His Son hostage to the ego cannot make little whom God has joined with Him. Every decision you make is for heaven or for hell and brings you the awareness of what you decided for. The Holy Spirit can hold your magnitude clean of all littleness, clearly and in perfect safety in your mind, untouched by every little gift the world of littleness would offer you. But for this, you cannot side against Him in what He wills for you. Decide for God through Him, for littleness and the belief that you can be content with littleness are decisions you make about yourself. The power and the glory that lie in you from God are for all who, like you, perceive themselves as little and believe that littleness can be blown up into a sense of magnitude that can content them. Neither give littleness nor accept it. all honor is due the host of God. Your littleness deceives you, but your magnitude is of him who dwells in you and in whom you dwell. Touch no one, then, with littleness in the name of Christ, eternal host unto his Father. In this season, Christmas, which celebrates the birth of holiness into this world, join with me who decided for holiness for you. It is our task together to restore the awareness of magnitude to the host whom God appointed for himself. It is beyond all your littleness to give the gift of God, but not beyond you. For God would give himself through you. He reaches from you to everyone and beyond everyone, to his Son's creations, but without leaving you. Far beyond your little world, but still in you, he extends forever. Yet he brings all his extensions to you as host to him. It is a sacrifice to leave littleness behind and wander. Oh, is it a sacrifice to leave littleness behind and wander not in vain? It is not sacrifice to wake to glory, but it is sacrifice to accept anything less than glory. Learn that you must be worthy of the Prince of Peace, born in you, in honor of him whose host you are. You know not what love means because you have sought to purchase it with little gifts, thus valuing it too little to understand its magnitude. Love is not little, and love dwells in you, for you are host to him. Before the greatness that lives in you, your poor appreciation of yourself and all the little offerings you give slip into nothingness. Holy child of God, when will you learn that only holiness can content you and give you peace? Remember that you learn not for yourself alone, no more than I did. It is because I learned for you that you can learn of me. I would but teach you what is yours, so that together we can replace the shabby littleness that binds the host of God to guilt and weakness with the glad awareness of glory that is in him. My birth in you is your awakening to grandeur. Welcome me, not into a manger, but into the altar to holiness, where holiness abides in perfect peace. My kingdom is not of this world because it is in you, and you are of your Father. Let us join in honoring you, who must remain forever beyond littleness. Decide with me, who has decided to abide with you. I will as my Father wills, knowing his will is constant and at peace forever with itself. You will be content with nothing but his will. Accept no less, remembering that everything I learned is yours. What my Father loves, I love as he does, and I can no more accept it as what it is not than he can, and no more can you. When you have learned to accept what you are, you will make no more gifts to offer to yourself, for you will know you are complete, in need of nothing, and unable to accept anything for yourself. But you will gladly give, having received. The host of God needs not seek to find anything. If you are wholly willing to leave salvation to the plan of God and unwilling to attempt to grasp for peace yourself, salvation will be given you. Yet think not you can substitute your plan for his. Rather, join with me in his, that we may release all those who would be bound, proclaiming together that the Son of God is host to him. Thus will we let no one forget what you would remember, and thus will you remember it. Call forth in everyone only the remembrance of God and of the heaven that is in him. For where would you have your brother be? There will you think you are. Hear not his appeal to hell and littleness, but only his call for heaven and greatness. Forget not that his call is yours, and answer him with me. God's power is forever on the side of his host, for it protects only the peace in which he dwells. Lay not littleness before his holy altar, which rises above the stars and reaches even to heaven, because of what is given it. We just talked about that. The reason why we accept bad behavior from others is because we think of ourselves as little.
The question I have, though, is about the word magnitude. And it was hard for me to conceptualize what magnitude is. I assume it's something like greatness, um, shining, radiance, something like that.
I would imagine that that's it as it was used there. Magnitude versus littleness, right? So it's the opposite. I would say it's the opposite of littleness. Like think of yourself with the grandeur of God within you. That's magnitude, right? Versus littleness where you think you're unworthy.
Yeah, in the electronic world, magnitude is that curve that goes up to the highest point.
Magnitude refers to the
That's the
size,
magnitude.
extent, or importance of something. It generally measures how large, powerful, or significant an object, number, or event is.
Yep.
It emphasizes the scale or consequence of a situation, such as the magnitude of a particular thing.
The grandeur, is that the right word? The grandeur?
Grandeur, yeah. Grandeur
Instead
of
of the
God.
grandiose.
Right. Grandiosity.
Again, it's the wholeness of something versus the separation. So when we think of ourselves as just separate, we're naturally defensive and comparing and pretty small if we're seeing all these things. But when we see all of them as just aspects of the wholeness, then we're looking through a very different pair of glasses, and we don't have to feel insecure at all.
Yeah, that's a great way to explain it. Thank you, Mary.
I'm thinking that has to do with being able to see the holiness in everyone. The holy part of us is the grandeur.
Right. The wholeness, holy, yeah. And it says, yet what you do not realize each time you choose is that your choice is your evaluation of yourself. Right? When you choose littleness, you see yourself as small, as weak, as frail, as fearful.
And also, I believe it was saying there, edge out God.
Right.
Because if God is love and we are all one mind, then by my littleness, which instigates self-protection. I am separating myself from other people, from the wholeness of God.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, shall we keep going to practicing the holy instant? This could be some good reading and good instruction for our week ahead.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how we do this. Practicing the holy instant. This course is not beyond immediate learning, unless you believe that what God wills takes time. And this means only that you would rather delay the recognition that His will is so. The holy instant is this instant and every instant. The one you want it to be, it is. The one you would not have it be is lost to you. You must decide when it is. Delay it not, for beyond the past and future, where you will not find it, it stands in shimmering readiness for your acceptance. Yet you cannot bring it into glad awareness while you do not want it, for it holds the whole release from littleness. Your practice must therefore rest upon your willingness to let all littleness go. The instant in which magnitude dawns upon you is but as far away as your desire for it. As long as you desire it not, and cherish littleness instead, by so much is it far from you. By so much as you want it, will you bring it nearer. Think not that you can find salvation in your own way and habit. Give over every plan you have made for your salvation in exchange for God's. His will content you, and nothing else can bring you peace. For peace is of God, and no one beside Him. Be humble before Him, and yet great in Him, and value no plan of the ego before the plan of God. For you leave empty your place in His plan, which you must fill if you would join with me by your decision to join in and plan but His. Join in any plan but His. I call you to fulfill your holy part in the plan that He has given to the world for its release from littleness. God would have His host abide in perfect freedom. Every allegiance to a plan of salvation, apart from Him, diminishes the value of His will for you in your own mind. And yet, it is your mind that is the host to Him. How would you learn how perfect and immaculate is the holy altar on which your Father has placed Himself? This you will recognize in the holy instant, in which you willingly and gladly give over every plan but His. For there lies peace, perfectly clear, because you have been willing to meet its conditions. You can claim the holy instant anytime and anywhere you want it. In your practice, try to give over every plan you have accepted for finding magnitude in littleness. It is not there. Use the holy instant only to recognize that you alone cannot know where it is and can only deceive yourself. I stand within the holy instant as clear as you would have me, and the extent to which you learn to accept me is the measure of the time in which the holy instant will be yours. I call to you to make the holy instant yours at once, for the release from littleness in the mind of the host of God depends on willingness and not on time. The reason this course is simple is that truth is simple. complexity is of the ego and is nothing more than the ego's attempt to obscure the obvious. You could live forever in the holy instant, beginning now and reaching to eternity, but for a very simple reason. Do not obscure the simplicity of this reason, for if you do, it will be only because you prefer not to recognize it and not to let it go. The simple reason, simply stated, is this. The holy instant is a time in which you receive and give perfect communication. This means, however, that it is a time in which your mind is open, both to receive and give. It is the recognition that all minds are in communication. It therefore seeks to change nothing, but merely to accept everything. How can you do this when you prefer to have private thoughts and keep them? The only way you could do that would be to deny the perfect communication that makes the holy instant what it is. You believe you can harbor thoughts you would not share, and that salvation lies in keeping thoughts to yourself alone. For in private thoughts, known only to yourself, you think you find a way to keep what you would have alone and share what you would share. And then you wonder why it is that you are not in full communication with those around you and with God who surrounds all of you together. Every thought you would keep hidden shuts communication off because you would have it so. It is impossible to recognize perfect communication while breaking communication holds value to you. Ask yourself honestly, would I want to have perfect communication? And am I wholly willing to let everything that interferes with it go forever? If the answer is no, then the Holy Spirit's readiness to give it to you is not enough to make it yours, for you are not ready to share it with Him. And it cannot come into a mind that has decided to oppose it. For the holy instant is given and received with equal willingness, being the acceptance of the single will that governs all thought. The necessary condition for the holy instant does not require that you have no thoughts that are not pure, but it does require that you have none that you would keep. Innocence is not of your making. It is given you the instant you would have it. At one moment would not be if there were no need for it. You will not be able to accept perfect communication as long as you would hide it from yourself. For what you would hide is hidden from you. In your practice, then, try only to be vigilant against deception and seek not to protect the thoughts you would keep to yourself. Let the Holy Spirit's purity shine them away and bring all your awareness to the readiness for purity He offers you. Thus will He make you ready to acknowledge that you are host to God and hostage to no one and to nothing. All right, there it is. There's our practice for the next week.
Well, the key comment that struck me was the perfect communication, and also, in a sense, permission to say, well, we're human. We do have thoughts that are not loving, but the key here is to bring them out and let the light shine on them. And so I believe that that was the process that he was describing of perfect communication.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for bringing that to the light. Yeah. Because what do we do with those thoughts usually? We harbor them, and harboring
Mm-hmm.
them creates resentment, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead of bringing them to the light and saying, I don't know what to do with this. I give this to you. This holy instant I give to you. Be you in charge,
Yeah.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
you give those
Mm-hmm.
thoughts to the Holy Spirit and just let them go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, when it spoke about, the need to fix a situation or influence it in some way, and us believing in separation, we think it's our job to do that, and that our perception, our beliefs are the ones that are accurate. And then we try to apply time, and I want this to happen now, or whatever, and not realizing that the cosmos has an orchestration to it. And if we just relax, know, and trust that that's the truth, in being our true selves,
Mm-hmm.
we effortlessly can't help but shine a different light on the rest of the cosmos. It's natural, and therefore we don't have to force the issue, and we're not fixing anything. We're just allowing it to flow, which is healthy, which is already healed, if we just allow ourselves to be open to that which is the truth.
Yeah, and I think too, we get so wrapped up in trying to create magnitude, right? With a plan, like this is the plan, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make money, and I'm going to get this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, instead of letting the Holy Spirit take charge and allowing the grandeur of God to work through you
Mm-hmm.
and asking for guidance and taking right action instead of thinking that you know the way to where you have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I feel like when you're in that mindset of I have to make more or I have to do more, you've already aligned with littleness,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because why would you have to do more or make more if you knew the wholeness and grandeur of God within yourself? You wouldn't even have that mindset. So it's interesting. There's that we have to let go of everything we've ever learned about how to be and allow everything we do to come from this place of at one with the one mind of God. It doesn't mean don't take any action. It means take action directed from that one mind of God in alignment with love and wholeness and magnitude instead of aligning with fear and littleness and lack.
Yeah.
Practice, practice, practice.
Mm-hmm.
Just learning how to do things differently, right?
Yeah.
We've been conditioned our entire lives to struggle, struggle, work hard, put the pedal to the metal and grind it out and make more and more and more. There's never enough. And we have to let that thought system go. Doesn't mean we still don't show up and, be in the world and share our gifts. We're just sharing it in a different alignment. We're sharing it aligned with our magnitude instead of aligned with our littleness. Any other
No pain,
thoughts
no
coming
gain.
up for anyone?
Yeah, the concept that we have to go through pain to gain is not valid. it's not so.
Right. All right. Anybody else have any burning shares? We still have about 6 minutes. I don't think it's enough time to get into the next section because we won't be able to discuss it or finish it, probably.
Mhm.
Um,
So what is one thing that
Energies.
jumped out from all of today's reading that you're going to hold with you going forward in the week?
Well, I think true communication and that issue of magnitude. And maybe this is how the holy instant can come more often, because in the holy instant, I have a change of mind. That is where miracles would originate. And so if I can begin with that holy instant, actually choosing the holy instant, then I can experience my own magnitude. So that would be my starting point, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like being present, that once you're present, then you're in all time, if you will. And therefore, a lot of the other things that we tend to experience just, they're not in your attention any longer because your focus is on that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's another way of describing the holy instant, is just being able to be fully present and basking in the joy of that.
Mm-hmm. And I think for me, it's remembrance again to let go of my plan and allow God's will to work through me, to really be more conscious throughout my actions, throughout my day, throughout my conversations. Anytime I'm not feeling joy, to just give it to the Holy Spirit, because that's when I'm aligning with littleness, when I'm not feeling joy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's great to have all of you here. If anybody else has a burning share, feel free to share. But I want to thank you all for coming. Hi, Cynthia. I don't think I got to acknowledge that you are with us today, but thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Listener.
Great to have you here.
Everybody, you guys all sharing.
Yeah. And Kathleen, good luck on the sale of the farm. I'd love to see the photos, so maybe you can send some to me. Kathleen's got a farm.
I definitely will.
Yeah, it's exciting. Exciting for your move to Asheville?
That area. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
towns that we're interested around outside of Asheville.
Nice. Exciting. Exciting. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And I will see you next week.
Okay.
Right.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Right. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.